Welcome to the episode of Pajama Jam. If this is the first time watching Pajama Jam, you're in for learning the Rhapsody in 30 minutes or less. So, welcome. Everyone gets. Let me know who's here. Let me know from. I'm 5 minutes or just all loose. My patch cable wasn't working. I've got some pedals underneath the desk over here. My patch cables weren't working, and then just as I was about to hit broadcast, I realized that my nails weren't cut, and so I had my nails clipper because that was one of the things that I was gonna do for the session, and just like all these things stopped working. My sound wasn't happening, so I was just like click, 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 and just getting it all happening. So I'm here and definitely excited about today's session. Last week I was supposed to broadcast this session, but Facebook was actually down. Believe it or not, it was down. I don't know if let me know in the chat if you guys had any problems with Facebook. That was the first time that that's been down that I've experienced, and I thought it was my computer, but then I saw it was pretty widespread. So cool. I got James here, got Philip, we got Denis, and we've got Roger. Welcome, guys. Awesome, awesome. Say hi in the chat. Let me know where you are watching from. So, quick little sound check. Let's just make sure that, I mean, you could hear my mic, so that's cool. And let's see, let's make sure that you could hear this. You should be able to hear the guitar with a little bit of reverb in there. That should be good. If you could just let me know in that. So, I've got my my shipment came in for my Guitar Dad mug. Very, very happy. Something inside the merch store that I love this design. Anyway, I got my tea here. My a little bit rattled, but I've got my peppermint here in my world's greatest Guitar Dad mug, and all is good. So good. We've got good crowd over here. Got Lucky is here. Troy, Tommy, Bobby. Great to have you guys. Awesome. All right. Well, first and foremost, so just if this is the first time that you're watching Pajama Jam, then I just wanted to let you know how it works. Basically, I just thought one day, I'm a busy guy. I'm a new dad. I want just time to practice guitar. I didn't really have time to practice anymore. And so I thought, okay, well, when everyone's asleep, I'll just come downstairs and I will broadcast, or I'll just practice. And then naturally, me being here, because this is where I do a lot of videos for my membership programs, I thought, why don't I just broadcast it? And why don't I about what I'm doing and just say the things I'm thinking while I'm practicing. And so that's what happened, and it sort of just took off. Response. I wrote this book, Practice Less, Play More, and it just all goes hand in hand. All the stuff that I am thinking and talking about in the Pajama Jam, I wrote inside this book. And so if you have a copy of the book, then a lot of the things that I'm going to be talking about in the Jam, you're going to recognize. And if you don't have a copy of the book, please let me know, and I'll get you to the book. Basically, the Pajama Jam started like that, and so it's me practicing, me learning a song, and I just want to show you what someone who has a good practice method, someone who can organize the material and learn things quickly. I want to demonstrate that in your practice sessions. And so, if you're a beginner guitar player, watching, then don't worry about following note for note. The main thing is that you're following the process that I'm using, and you could do the same thing in any song that you're working on. Obviously, if you want to give some of this a shot, you can do that, but definitely back where it might be. Oh, cool. So hopefully that is just some form of allergy. Guitar player, just enjoy the ride. Watch not going to be, like I was mentioning, program inside. Why can't you hear that? This over here. Oh, no, you can. Yeah, you can. Okay. Okay. So you have that there. Now, and I'm just seeing you guys are also having an audio. Okay, I think that it lost. Okay, check, 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 check. Am I back? Let me know if I'm back. If you hear me. Check, 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 check. And let me just cancel this 1 sec. All right. Can you guys just let me know that you could hear me? You should be able to also hear the guitar. Okay, so check, 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 check. Let me know that everything is back. I don't know if the effects are working. Let me just try one quick thing over here. Check, check, check. And don't save that. And let's see. Sometimes technology could be super annoying. Facebook Live guitar, click there. Don't save. No. Okay. All right. Excuse me for the technical glitch here. Let me just drag this over here. Drag this over here. And you should be able to hear once again. But that is, oh wow, that is super annoying. Okay, 1 sec. Let me give me 1 second here, but you guys could hear, right? Okay, so give me 1 sec. There's a computer glitch that happened that is just not. I just have to do a quick setting here because it was cutting out before. I know why. So, all right, we should be good to go. Let me see. Okay, cool. So you should be able to hear guitar, and you should be able to hear my mics, right? Everything's good? Okay, just a quick test here. Everything's good? Let me know in the chat real quick. Oh man, when it rains, it pours. I think my wife was saying something about Mercury's in retrograde or something, and so like everything technical is messing up right now. I don't know what that's, but okay, mucho better. Okay, awesome, try, cool. All right, let's get to it. So basically, what I was saying before was I'm not super prepared for today's session in the sense of I had so I have the tempo and stuff, but just because things are super chaotic, I've got to kind of like settle into this, and I'm gonna remember my main principles. What you're gonna see when I practice, I'm working on a certain order of parts. So what I'm gonna just check is that the backing track that I recorded on my looper pedal, the rhythm guitar, basically just the chords. I just want to make sure that works. You could hear this. You could hear the chords here. Let me know that you could hear that. I just want to make sure you guys give the thumbs up for the yes, perfect. Thank you, John. All right, cool. All right. So allergies. Wow. At least I think so. Hope I'm not getting sick again. All right. So there's the odds of the deck is stacked. Odds are stacked against me here, but I like it. I'm up for the challenge. So what I'm going to do is I've got the backing track here. That's what I'm going to play along to. And then I'm going to work with the metronome a little bit. But the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to scan through the solo. So I'm going to switch screens here. I'm going to start the timer. Okay, so let me get that timer going. So it's March 20th. I'm going to get this countdown timer going. And we'll go, so set of 30 minutes. And all right, 40, 44. Okay, So the timer has begun, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the tab and here. So let's see. Okay, perfect. So we've got, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to look through the solo, and I'm going to make sure that nothing looks odd. Like, I'm just going to kind of get the sort of lay of the land. I'm going to scan the whole solo. Okay, so I'm going to scan through. This is where the solo is, and I'm just going to make sure that I understand what's going on in the solo. Okay, so and I'll switch my camera here. All right, so looking through, I'm seeing we've got, okay, so bend, pull off, okay, bend, and the most important thing when you're learning songs, guys, is learn songs that you know, right? So right now I'm learning this solo, and I know what this is supposed to sound like. I've never tried playing this solo. I don't know why, I just never have. And so I'm just kind of looking through. I'm seeing vibrato, okay, so bend. This is also why I cut my nails before the session, is because all of these bends, I knew there would be bends. So with having any kind of nail is going to just grind against the fretboard, and it'll be super annoying, and it'll limit my ability. Okay, so I'm just going through here. This is not the part, so the solo. Okay, so pull off, okay, hammer on. So a big string of notes over here. So I'm going to definitely focus on this section here quite a bit. Okay, over here again. And over here. All right. So it doesn't look like there's anything crazy in the solo. It just looks like, okay, and then the last note. So it just basically looks like there's quite a bit to remember. But again, I know this solo, I know what it's supposed to sound like. So that's one of the reasons why I do this, is I pick songs that I know, and I urge you to pick songs that you know and love, because those are embedded in your mind, right? So when you learn songs, if you're not learning a song that if you're learning a song you don't know, then that's going to just take longer to learn, and it's also possibly not going to be as fun because you just don't know the song. So it's better to tap into the songs that you know. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do something called no tempo practice. No tempo practice is where I'm going to play in just with no tempo, just basically like scanning through, but now with the guitar. And I don't care about if I make any mistakes. I'm just kind of going through to feel and experience the different parts. And because I don't have that much time, I'm going to kind of get on with it over here. Okay, and I'm not going to use any distortion or anything like that. Like, if anything, just a little overdrive, but okay. So all I'm doing, I'm just kind of going through. Okay, so it's all sounding good. Just kind of going through, getting the lay of the land, making sure there's nothing weird happening. Just going. Okay. And I'm not thinking about solo or tempo or anything like that. I'm not thinking about soloing. I'm just thinking about just what's on the paper and experiencing it with my fingers. So I get to see if there's any weird stuff happening. This is very important before I actually tackle this, just to prevent any surprises or anything like that. And then the last note was the 7th fret. Okay, cool. So, and I think actually something's in here that's not written. Something like that. Anyway, I'll get there. But the main thing, you guys see, so no tempo practice is the most important part of this, because I'm going, and it's the first step, because I have to make sure that there's nothing weird happening in the song. in the solo. And did I just go? So I have to make sure, like I could look with my eyes here and scan like I did at the beginning when I started the timer, but playing with fingers here and experiencing the solo is so crucial, because that's where you could see, oh, there's like a really weird bend over there, or that's a super big jump or something like that. So I don't want to have any surprises when I'm actually digging into this. Now, the next step is a slow tempo practice. Now I'm just going to scroll up and I'm going to just see what the tempo is of this song. So 72. The tempo is 72. Now that's a pretty slow tempo. So what I did on the metronome is I doubled it. What did I have? I had 144 on the metronome. So yeah. Boom, boom, ba-da-boom. Yeah. So we have basically the solo, the tempo of this track is inside the metronome here, and even so here, boom, boom. Yeah, it's all, I recorded that to the right speed. Okay, cool. So I'm just refreshing my memory here, because again, I was supposed to broadcast this last week. But 144. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to go all the way. I'm going to go super slow. And the main thing with slow tempo practice is I'm going slow, so slow that I can't make a mistake, but it's got a steady pulse. So maybe like this, but it's a steady pulse. So the key factor here is to have a steady pulse. That doesn't mean I'm going to play the whole thing. No tempo is where I just kind of scroll through the whole thing. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a chunk. So a chunk is just a small piece of information. So I'm going to just get that going. And I'm just going to play this here, but slowly. And I could use the metronome. I'm a little more experienced with this, so I can make sure that it's a steady tempo. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make sure it's a steady tempo. I'm going to go. Okay. And that's like, it's so slow that I can't make a mistake. That's the speed. It's for you, it might be different, but just think so slow you can't make a mistake, but with a steady tempo. And then, now that I've got that, now I move from slow tempo practice, now I'm into what's called the fast practice formula. So this is where I'm going to play this 3 times without making a mistake before moving on. And I'm just actually going to motor on this a little bit. If you want some more information about this, then make sure to pick up my book. I go into depth about how to do this, but I've got a boogie on this. This is 23 minutes, so I'm going to play this 3 times without making a mistake. Okay, last time. Okay, now I'm going to move on. Just going to go to the next chunk. So. Okay, I'm going to put both chunks together. Okay, again. Last time. Okay, cool. Now I'm going to move on to this chunk over here. Is that where? Okay, so. Okay, so now again. Okay. And actually, so I played that 3 times without making a mistake, but what I'm going to do, so I sort of simplified that a bit, but it's actually a little more like this. Like that. So I'm going to go. Just in my head, the melody is just a little bit different than the rhythm. Okay, last time. Okay, now I'm going to just tackle this part, because this is the part that I'm going to spend the majority of time on here. It's actually such a long part, I'm going to just chunk it down a little smaller. So I'm going to look at it first here. So okay, 3 times I'll make a mistake before moving on. slow. Okay, now I'm going to slow it down a little bit. I'm going to increase down. I'm going to kind of decrease the speed a little bit here. So okay, and last time. Okay, I'm going to increase the speed of that a little bit here. And last time. Okay, I'm just going to move on to the next chunk. Let's see here. Okay, move to the next chunk. Third time. Okay, I feel pretty good about that. Looking at the clock, about 18 minutes. Okay, so okay, second time. Third time. Cool. Okay, so I feel good about that. So basically all I'm doing, I'm just, I'm going through this 3 times without making a mistake. I'm pretty happy with my progress. It's a little bit, like these are a little bit like little scale shapes. So it's like 1 finger per fret sort of thing. And also again, I know the solo in my mind, right? It's a really big shortcut that when you're playing a song that you know, it really helps to shorten the learning curve. So what I'm gonna do, just gonna kind of keep going, expose myself to this solo. That was going, so that's not difficult. Okay. Okay, and I'll answer any questions after I'm finished over here. If you have any questions about what I'm doing, or you need some advice, then I'll get that in a sec here. But I'm just that part was fairly simple. So 16. So okay. Okay. Whoops. So there's a mistake, so I gotta play again, reset the counter back to 0. So no. So that was 2 mistakes in a row, so I gotta play now slower. Decrease the speed, amount, or the complexity. I'm gonna decrease the speed. So oh, it's a half, and that's why. Okay, that's cool. So I'll bring that back to speed. I thought it was a full bend, so. And okay, cool. The last part. Bum ba da ba da bum. So bum ba ba da ba ba. So ba ba da ba da ba ba da ba da ba ba da ba da. Okay, so yeah, that's what I'm hearing in my head. So, okay, that part's a little tricky. Okay, so this part here. What finger am I gonna be on? Okay, cool. So cool. So that's the ending. So now I played a bunch of things, but now I've got to connect it. So I'm just going to go with my recent memories here, and I'm going to just go back. I'm going to work backwards. Okay, every single pajama jam is something different. Like, I'm just tackling it in a different way, but it uses the same principles. So here... Okay, next. Last time. Okay, work backwards here. I'm going to increase the amount and decreasing the speed. Okay. Okay, third time. Okay, so hopefully you guys could see how I'm just kind of piecing these things together. I'm developing each chunk and I'm piecing it together. Now, one thing you'll also notice is I don't really have many effects on here. Like, I don't have ripping distortion or big delay or anything. Just have a little bit of reverb, but I want to hear what my guitar is doing, and that way when I put, the arena sound on it, it's going to sound a lot better and bigger. So, okay, let's go for this part again. I feel pretty good about that ending. 13 minutes, okay. Not out of the woods yet here. Such a weird part. Cramming so many notes in there. Okay. Okay, that's just a part. To rely on a little bit of memory there. Okay. Okay. So I'm just going through it 3 times without making mistakes. So that's going pretty well. This speed, let's see. That's pretty good. Haha, there's a mistake, wrong fret. Okay, that's 1, because remember I made a mistake, so that resets the counter to 0. Cool, 2. Okay, I feel good about that. A little concerned about how that's all going to fit in the bar because it's just a lot of notes, and so hopefully I'm close to the tempo, the target tempo. Let's get back to this part here. I'm just going to kind of run with it for a sec. Whoop! Oh, that bend was this full bend. Okay, so that's actually a mistake there. So caught myself. Okay, so. 3 times without making a mistake, move on. Okay, so. Okay, cool. Okay, last time. So all of them 3 times without making a mistake, before I move on. So here. So switch there. Okay, for now, was that 3 times? No, I don't think. Okay, so there's 10 minutes left. Let's go here. Oh, it's a bend. Okay, so. Cool. Also, this guitar feels a lot better. American Strat feels a lot better than my Mexican Strat. So also the equipment that I'm using, this is really helping because I like this fretboard for stuff like this, for solos like this. Okay, so I'm going to attempt this whole line, and then I'm going to go to the fast one, and then I'm going to connect both of them. Okay. Cool. Cool, pretty epic. Cool, 3 times without making a mistake. Now back to this fast line here, and whatever, it's just a busy line. I'm not going to psych myself out, it's just a busy line. So I'm going to be bending there. So bending there. Cool. Reset the counter back to 0. Okay. No, that's the part that's a little weird. What happened there? Oh, that's why. So yeah, that's why. Okay, I just found a little weird part, so I put it under the microscope there. Had a little brain fart. Yeah, so there. Okay, so I'm gonna just take a second, a little breather here, or else I'm gonna overthink this part. Does that happen to you guys? You find that happens? Sometimes things are going well, just kind of like a weird little like mental glitch. Now that part, the risk of kind of getting a bit messed up. So it's okay. I'm just not gonna make anything. I'm gonna just slow down, just on a smaller chunk. Let's just get this part here. Yeah. Okay, 3 without making mistakes. See how quickly we go 3 times without making a mistake. We're just kind of just smoothing that part out in the brain. So let's see here. So. Cool. All right. So let's go again. Full thing. I think I know what the problem was. Okay, I figured it out. So. Okay. So now let's get the whole thing here. Wow, 6 minutes. Jeez. Okay. Okay, last time. Okay, I gotta start going with this track. Hopefully it's some... Well, it's a bit faster. Okay. Oh, man. Okay, I'm just going to start going for it. It's a bit reckless, but let's just see what we're working with here. Sometimes jumping in the deep end is going to be a good thing. Okay, I'm just going to kind of keep this on the screen just in case I need it. So far, actually, that wasn't that bad. Let me just get this ending. Okay, I think I could do it. All right, 5 minutes to go. Let's do the thing. I'm going to keep this long, this part here. So review it quick. Okay, that's just that one run there, and it might psych me out a bit, but I'm gonna put that box here because it's a danger zone over here, but it's okay. So and let me actually make this a little bit. Put it a little louder there. Okay, so. Wow. Okay. So that happened. Yes. Yeah, that was unexpected. So that I guess that was just sort of piecing the part together. I went for it, and I'm not going to pretend like that always happens. That is not something that always happens where you just get it. This part, there's something to it that just kind of like, it was a little weirdness in my brain. Like there was just a little part, I think it was like right here in this section here. That was the weirdness, and it didn't happen that time. Now, it doesn't mean that this part's fully sorted, but I did play it up to speed in under 30 minutes. So I'm pretty stoked about that. Now let's just see if I can just enhance it with just a better sound. Let me get a heavier distortion on here. It's going to also impact the sound of the loop, but let's just see what we got. Let me make this a little bit more. So now let's just have some fun where I play. How do I open this up? Okay. So let's just get a lot of reverb on here. Presets. I haven't really used this delay or this full bloom. Let's say space. It's too much. Okay. Let's go with that. I mean, unfortunately, it's going to it's going to impact the rhythm track too, because that's all going through this sound. Let's see. Well, let's go with that one. Okay, let's go with that, and then I'll crank the gain a little bit here. I don't want to clip this. No, it's clipping. Okay, just one sec. Bear with me here, guys. It's better. It's not perfect, but who cares? When in doubt, just crank everything. Okay, let's see what we got here. So that sounds obviously a lot more arena, but I don't want to clip that, so I'm just gonna bring this down a bit. Okay, and just double check my audio here. Oh yeah, so getting a little bit too excited over here. So now let's go back to the tab, and let's see what this sounds like. So. Yeah, so you see how when I'm playing, when I'm practicing the part, it's good to sit with as clean as possible so that you could really tell where the problem areas are, if the notes aren't sustaining, if they're not like lasting as long as they could. And you know, when you're practicing, if you have blaring distortion, I mean, it's not going to be that it's a bad thing necessarily. Like, I want you to have fun, but I want to make sure that, you know, when you're seriously practicing, it is really good to practice clean, with clean, no cranked distortion. And then once the part is sorted, then it just sounds so good, where, you know, you make it sound good on clean, and then you just add the distortion, and then it's good to go. So let me get this going here just for a close-up. Let's see. This is probably going to sound like a mess. Yeah, the distortion, it's because it's all going through the same audio signal. So yeah, I love that solo. That's fun, man. So, okay, cool. So that was, so playing with the backing track and everything. So all that happened. I got that at, I think, about 26 minutes, something like that. So what you got to remember, guys, and I'll read through the comments in just a second here, but what you got to remember is, no matter what stage you're at, like with these processes that I'm using, so like going through it, no tempo practice, or first actually scanning through the tab, and then playing with no tempo practice, like actually scanning through with my fingers, and then going through slow tempo practice, where I'm playing so slow I can't make a mistake. I gradually build up in speed. I also go in these chunks, and I'm playing it 3 times without making a mistake. If I make a mistake, then it resets the counter back to 0. I play it 3 times without making a mistake before moving on. I move on to either increasing the speed, increasing the amount, increasing the complexity of the chunk that I'm playing. If I make 2 mistakes in a row, I decrease the speed, decrease the amount, decrease the complexity. This is my fast practice formula. And you could see in action, if you watch this again, and the more that you know my stuff, and, you know, checking out the methodology inside my book, Practice Less, Play More, I lay it all out in there. This is how to practice. And this is all I'm doing when you're watching me do this. Like, because it was that, especially that quick run there, with busy notes, with like 1 million notes in 1 bar of music, and because of the deadline, I really had to rush through some things. It's just part of this. This is kind of like a game show sort of thing. But if I didn't have that deadline, then I wouldn't really rush through like that in a bit of a panic. I'd take a little bit more time with each part, and maybe this takes like, you know, an hour to learn, or maybe this takes 2 days to learn, but I just have some fun with it. And I don't want you to think that this has to be in 30 minutes or less, or the fact that, you know, you have to learn that solo, or this is the only way to learn this solo, or, you know, this method's only good for this solo. It's this works on anything you're working on, whether it's a Tom Petty song, whether you're playing heavy metal, whether you're playing jazz. Learning works a certain way, your brain works a certain way and learns a certain way, and the method that I've laid out is a very effective way to learn. It's not the only way, but it's an effective way to learn. So that is, yeah, I'm really stoked about that. So a little backstory I probably should have said before the session. I think I was going to tell you this week, last week, but this Facebook was down last week, so the episode was pushed to this week, and this week I just had a bunch of tech problems, like crazy, so my mind wasn't really on this, but my wife is obsessed with Freddie Mercury, and we watched the movie Bohemian Rhapsody, which was a cool movie, really liked it. I like movies like that. And I walk out of there, and I was just like, ah, that was a really cool movie. And she just walks out, and she's so obsessed all of a sudden with Freddie Mercury. And so I've heard this song so many times, and I was just like, that's how I thought, oh, that would be cool for a pajama jam if I play the solo, because I realized I never learned this solo. So yeah, that's the story behind why the solo, and hopefully in watching me break it down, build it up, you could see how the same principles that I keep talking about, they apply to really anything. So let's let me mute the guitar here for a sec. All right, so it doesn't sound like there's a blow dryer happening. And I'm just going to read through the comments, just see if there's anything. I'm just going to stay on for another 10 minutes. And I'm curious to know what you're working on, and if you have any questions or anything like that for me. So let's go here. All right. What's up? All right. It looks like, yeah, there were some audio issues before. I'm not sure exactly what that was, but I think I've figured out kind of a way to broadcast. That's not going to happen anymore. Okay. So it looks like that was all sorted. Okay, that's good. It's good. Just sorting through the comments here. Okay. Dawn, yeah, I know that you were playing the solo. Cool. James, I'd really like to learn how to play Sweet Child of Mine and some others, but my friend told me that I would have to play some songs that I probably don't like. No way, man. If you really like that song, then that's going to be one of the first things that you work on, if not the first thing that you work on. Yeah, and Dawn's saying, James, play what you want to play. You have fun when you play songs you like. Yeah, totally. James, I'm a beginner. I haven't gotten my guitar yet. I've already pre-ordered it. I'll be in... Cool. You'll be getting it in mid-May. Okay, great. Yeah, that's awesome. Troy's got an honest, try fade after I receive it. Yeah, so James, totally. When you get the guitar, definitely get that going. Dave is saying, my problem is learning to actually read music. Now, Dave, I don't know if you mean read notes, like black dots on the lines and stuff like that, or if you mean like tab, what I was just reading there. As long as you are playing something somehow, you don't have to be a tab. It could just be a video that you watch of someone showing you the part. You just have to get the information somehow. So don't worry necessarily. You don't have to read music in the sense. There are many ways to get there. But if you mean reading music, like reading this stuff over here, like reading the notes up here, I'm not reading that. You don't have to worry about that. You can look at tabs and stuff is a lot easier. So just got a message about the streaming quality. So hopefully it's still going over here. Okay, so James. Okay, so Philip. Sometimes I walk away for a few minutes and reset. Good. Yeah, it's good strategy for sure. All right, Steve. Yeah, Steve Buchanan. Awesome. Welcome, buddy. Thanks for the love, everyone. Philip, amazing. I feel like I'll never get to that stage in playing or fingering the fretboard. Hey, man, listen. It's all step by step, right? So if you're working on solo, then just go in the chunks. Some things might need simplified at first, but the main thing is that you're playing a song that you know really well, because if you know your fingers have to go bam, 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 then you know that if, let's say, you could skip a note, or you can put the record on, and when you skip a note, it's not gonna seem like you're skipping the note. Like you can play bam, 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 like that. So I could play instead of going, this isn't on right now, but actually, let me turn that on just so it doesn't sound weird. So like instead of going, you go, you can play instead of the bend. Let's say bends are tricky, then you slide up or something like that. It doesn't have to be the exact thing that you see or hear, and you can just simplify it, and you can play it slowly as well. I mean, maybe you play the Bohemian Rhapsody solo slower, and then you just build it up, because it's really mostly about your mind has to move faster than your fingers move. So you have to get the mind to understand what the moves are. I just remembered a few things when I was practicing it. I just kind of like captured what the moves were, and my mind knew what those moves were, and I'm going through the process so that I'm kind of coloring in the picture and filling in the blanks. And so it's just, mind was moving faster than my fingers were, and so I wouldn't worry about, like, you see what I'm doing and you're like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that. You can for sure if you follow the steps, where first it's got to be a song that you love, so you know what it's supposed to sound like. Your mind already has a head start in that respect. And then you could simplify some of the techniques. You don't get hung up on one bend where it's like, oh, I don't really know how to do bends that well. So maybe the bends have to change, because if you go bam bam and you're trying to get that bend, that's the second note in the solo. Let's say you're trying to do the bend here. So let me just switch here. Let's say you're trying to do this bend. And you can't do bends, let's say, for whatever reason. Then that's the second note of the solo. So if you stop there and you're precious about that second note, or that it has to be a certain way, then yeah, you're going to stop right before this thing even starts. So simplify it instead, and be okay with simplifying it. Then you make music out of that solo, and then you can progress from there. It doesn't. I think that's a big problem. One of the most common problems that beginner guitar players face, and struggling guitar players, is that they take the part face value, and the part's too hard to play, and so you stop before the thing even starts because the techniques are too hard. Instead, switch the technique so you can play music right away. Instead of you trying to be like the song, bring the song to your level. Make the song where you're at. Okay, so you don't have to make your level be where the song is at. Today, that might not be realistic. Bring the song to you, to your level, and so you play from day one. That's what my methodology is all about, making sure that you bring the song to your level, and then you could simplify, and because it's a song you love, put the record on and play along with it. Okay, so hopefully that's helpful to you guys. Denis, awesome. Thank you so much, buddy. All right. Stephen, the notes in bar made me step back and say, wow, not going to be easy for me to learn. Working on the Ted Nugent solo Stranglehold. Yeah, I mean, no matter what, like, you can go through the different steps of like in the tab. You can just go through slowly, or watch a video for someone to sort of show you, or maybe you hire a guitar coach to show you how to go through those moves. But no matter how you get it, how you learn it, it's very important that you go through it 3 times without making a mistake before moving on. You're exposing your brain, your mind to this, to these concepts here. So don't worry if when you see the notes that it's got to be a certain way. Okay. All right, I see you have to go. But thanks for joining us. All right, so let's see next. Doug, Dougie, how's it going, buddy? How do you know what position to be in on the fretboard? So that's a great question. So for me, some experience does, for sure. I'm not going to pretend like experience doesn't help. But if you're starting from scratch, if you don't have a video to reference, or you don't have if you have nothing to work with, then just try something. And if something feels awkward, it probably means that the fingers need to switch a little bit. Typically, keep sort of 1 finger per fret on a certain run. Like, I'll show you in a second. So when you're playing a line, and I'll just keep this on. I'll keep the blow dryer on. Let me switch the setting back here. Zoom, don't save. Okay, let me activate this again. Boom, and boom. Okay. So when you're playing a part that's like this, when you're playing that part, see 15 and 17, try with the index finger first. I mean, you could even go like this to get the notes first, and you wouldn't try playing that up to speed. That's very difficult. But you see 15, and then you see 17. Just think of it as like 1 finger per fret, in a sense that playing the ring finger, because that's 2 frets up, 2 fingers up, it makes a lot of sense. Do your best. I mean, Dougie, you're in my band coaching program, and so, you could just ask me. If anybody's working with me, then you could just ask me. That's the simple answer. You just start being exposed to some of these things over and over, and then you just start to instinctively kind of know what fingers to use. But typically, just try, maybe start with the index finger and keep a 1 finger per fret sort of thing happen, and always monitor like awkwardness if you need to adjust or if you need to modify. Like up here, if I'm keeping 1 finger per fret, it would look like this. So it'd go with the pinky here, like that. But I like how it feels because up here the frets are skinnier, so I'm just using 3 fingers rather than using the index, middle, and ring rather than index, middle, and pinky. So you could always change things up. That's one thing also, is you don't have to stick to any proper convention, like, oh, well, I heard you're supposed to do this, so I have to do this. Just do whatever works for you. And if it's really awkward, if it feels awkward and it's not making music, and then maybe you shoot a video of it and it sounds really awkward as well, then it's probably not correct. But just try whatever you feel is going to work the first time, and if it doesn't work, then you adjust and just try different things. It's like we're scientists doing experiments. That's the main thing. But again, Dougie, you could just ask me, like, hey Steve, what finger should I use for this part, and I'll just tell you. All right, let me see. James, he said I need easier songs to start with. Yeah, I mean, James, I taught Sweet Child of Mine to beginners before. I mean, anything's possible, man. I mean, you're going to learn a lot of things by learning Sweet Child of Mine, so you might as well start now. If it's one of your favorite songs, then just play it slowly, keep it as simple as possible, and play that song because that inspires you to play. So that'll be sort of, instead of playing a finger exercise that, excuse my friend, but instead of having a finger exercise that's complete like bullshit, like just going like this, like this, where you're just not getting anything musical out of it. Just, what's Sweet Child of Mine? So, even doing just this, just even playing that part is beneficial. Just even getting that, and then, you do a little more. Whoops. Even if you're playing it slowly, play it even slower. Whatever it is, even if you play with 1 finger, the main thing is that you're playing the song that you love. Don't let anybody tell you that you need to play something else before you play what you love. Play what you love right away and modify it to where you're at, okay? That's, anybody who knows me knows that that's where I start to get a little bit, fired up, where I want you to play songs you love. I want you to play music. So you shouldn't do anything before this or before that. Like, I mean, if you want to play that song, do other stuff too. Like, learn some easy songs to build your confidence as well. But, also learn Sweet Child of Mine. It doesn't have to be like one thing that you guys, I know I'm running a little bit over time over here. If there's one thing that you guys remember, if this is the only thing that you see of mine, just remember that you're playing music, the guitar is meant to play music, and there's no such thing as should, okay? There's no such thing as should. You play what you like and modify it, simplify it so that you can play it today. It's going to take care of every single thing that you need to do, okay? Everything. So Sweet Child of Mine, if that's what inspired you to play, you should be playing Sweet Child of Mine, okay? This is not a mountain. This isn't Mount Everest that one day you're climbing, and then Sweet Child of Mine is at the top. You aren't mountain climbers. You guys are guitar players, okay? So instead of having Sweet Child of Mine at the top of the mountain, start from day one, play it right away, and enjoy it and have fun with it. The only thing that can go wrong is if you expect to play it perfectly, if you expect to play it up to speed exactly how Slash plays it on the record, that'll frustrate you because maybe your fingers, your coordination isn't quite there yet. But learn how to play some stuff on guitar through Sweet Child of Mine. Learn how to move your fingers through Sweet Child of Mine. Slow it down. experiment with different fingers. Use all downstrokes at first, even though you should probably be using alternate eventually, because it's probably going to just make it faster for you and more comfortable for you to play. But play it slowly with downstrokes. Okay? Do not make songs that you love mountains. Okay? If you're climbing, you will slip. You'll get frustrated. Instead, play from day one. Instead of expecting yourself to go to the level of the song, bring the song to your level, okay? First from day one, and then progress from there. Does it make sense, guys? Sorry, I get fired up about that because we've lost a lot of guitar players because of precious sort of like, sort of bad advice and just this sort of the shoulds. I don't like the shoulds. I'm a self-taught guitar player, so I don't like shoulds. I do what I want when I want, and there's some things that are struggle for sure, but I'm not precious about anything. I'll learn whatever I want to learn, and if I can't do it right away, I'm going to still make music today. I'm just going to modify it a little bit. All right, so let's just quickly see what's going on over here. All right, Lucky. I don't get the time I want to practice, but I practice some every day. Working on Stone Cold Crazy. Nice. Good stuff, man. Can't wait to hear that. Tommy, playing Black Hole Sun. Great song. Jim, working on Bulls on Parade this week. It's interesting trying to mimic the solo with no real notes. Okay, cool. Yeah. Yeah, that's a cool solo for sure. Very, very, the sort of like, almost like a record scratch. Tom Morello's got some great solos like that. Just odd solos. Very cool. James, he's going to give me guitar lessons. He told me that he won't charge me. Great. That's awesome. Philip, you're also plucking up and down, correct? So, yeah, I'm using alternate picking in the solo, and pretty much everything I was doing today, yeah. John, thank you. This was very helpful. Okay, cool. All right, and Roger, great. Very happy, guys. Very happy that you guys enjoyed the session. Again, if you want to know how I did all this, if you want to know how I, like the method that I use, then check out my book if you haven't already, Practice Less, Play More. This book I'm getting a lot of love from people telling me that it makes sense. Finally, something that makes sense with practicing and structuring practice and just kind of quieting the perfectionist in our head, really making sure that goes away. And so check out the book if you haven't already. There's paperback, there's Kindle, there's also an audio version of it. Check that out and enjoy. This is my life's work inside that book. Just the methodology that is in there, it really works, guys. It's worked for me, and I also I've shared this methodology with many students around the world, and it's helped them to learn many songs. So definitely check that out if you haven't already. And there's this. So the mug finally arrived. I'll be getting some more merch soon. Check out the merch store if you haven't already. There's going to be some new merch coming in very soon, and I'll be announcing that when it comes in. Also, I should be getting the shipment of books, new shipment of books. For anyone who's interested in getting a signed copy of Practice Less, Play More, I'll be announcing that as soon as I receive the shipment, so keep an eye out for that. And that is pretty much it for tonight, guys. So I'll be posting this episode on YouTube. I'll be posting all the episodes on YouTube. I believe this is episode 8. I'll be posting that on YouTube. Check out my YouTube channel, Rockstar Mind TV. Check it out. So it would be youtube.com/RockstarMindTV, all one word. And you'll see a bunch of videos being uploaded over the next few weeks, and I'll just be continuing from there. So I hope that you enjoyed today's episode. That was a blast. A lot of fun to play this iconic solo, and I'm very excited to go on another solo, riff, lick, whatever it is next, Pajama Jam. If you want to request a song, then make sure to go to this link here, request a song, rockthis.link/requests, and request a song, and I will take a look at that list. You could also upvote other songs. You don't have to log in or do anything. You just go there and request a song, and I will take a look at that before the next one. All right, guys, hope you have a great night, great day, great afternoon, depending on where you are in the world, and we'll catch you soon. Take care.